Charlotte Laws is featured in Netflix's latest true crime hit. This docuseries is fascinating. The most hated man on the internet. After her own daughter Kayla's email was hacked, Charlotte Laws went into action to stop the man behind a very controversial revenge porn website who called himself a professional life ruiner.
Has there been any individual you've just felt sorry for to the point that you take something down?
No, it's just too much fun.
But the one thing he didn't anticipate was Charlotte Laws.
He came after my daughter. He needed to be brought down.
And brought down he was. Spoiler alert there. Charlotte Laws joins us now live. You were the most trending woman on the internet last weekend with the release of this. It was trending on Netflix. Tell me about how you've been flooded with so many messages.
Everybody has been so sweet. I mean, it's amazing. I have gotten well over 1,000 emails, messages. Everything is just so positive and so loving, and I've just been overwhelmed. I mean, yeah. I'm so appreciative.
One of them from me, as soon as I finished watching, I DM'd you on Twitter to say, I need you to share this story with even more people. This happened years ago, but I mean, people are still talking about it. And this is something that people can learn from today. I mean, one, changing the passwords, being careful about our personal property, and two, the lengths you would go for your family and for more. Why was not Hunter more, for more women? Why was not only defending your daughter, but so many of these innocent women so important for you to get these photos that they never sent taken down?
Well, A, I had relationships with them at this point, but B, you know, I've always known that happiness comes from doing things for others, and I've just kind of known that my whole life. I've always sort of been an activist, sort of, and so, you know, I felt this was a cause at that point. I mean, there were so many people victimized, and so I knew that it was getting down the website was important. I knew that protecting victims all over the world was important, and I knew getting legislation passed was important. So it kind of just became overwhelming for me, and I knew I had to go on a mission.
This was a mission. For people who aren't familiar with revenge porn, how can you describe it to them?
It's non-consensual pornography. So essentially it's taking somebody's nude or topless picture and distributing it out to the world, usually on the internet, and without their consent. That's what it is.
It's terrible. And your own daughter being a victim to this, and you wanting to have it taken down, it was not easy. Things got a little bit scary for a moment.
It was super scary because I had people that were hacking into my computer and putting viruses on it. I had death threats. I had a stalker come to my house. I mean, it just got ratcheted up. It was crazy because Hunter Moore had all these followers in his cult, and he would use Charles Manson-like language. He would call himself the father, and they were the children, and they were the family. And so these people, you know, people would say, "I will kill for you, Father." Wow. And so I had all these anonymous people after me, and I don't know who they were, you know, and you don't know if they're ex-cons, if they're people with guns, if they have anger issues, and they're just kind of coming at you from all directions. And so it is kind of scary.
Even your daughter once said to you, hey, maybe don't push this any further.
Yeah, once my daughter's picture was down, my husband and daughter wanted me to stop. But, you know, there were, of course, all these victims waiting and relying on me, and, you know, they needed help. And one thing about when you're victimized like this, you really can't fight for yourself in most cases. You need someone else to fight for you. Yeah. So I kind of had to be that person.
What advice would you give to women now about their personal property and photographs and passwords and accounts?
Well, I mean, you obviously, like what you said, you do need to try to protect your privacy as much as you can. If you do get victimized in this way, there is the Cyber Civil Rights Initiative, which will give you, not only it has a hotline, but also can give you a lot of information. And if you need an attorney, the Cyber Civil Rights Legal Project has pro bono attorneys in almost every state who will come to your aid. And there are obviously attorneys in California. So those are two resources that can help you if you get into this predicament.
If you search Charlotte Laws on Twitter, there you have so many. Speaking of fans, you think he had fans. You have so many fans. I'll never forget seeing one tweet that said, "If I go missing, don't call the police. Call Charlotte Laws, because she will find me."
I really love that because I always, literally since in my 20s, I always had this fantasy of being Bruce Willis. You know, Bruce Willis with hair. I always wanted to be like a superhero. Yeah. I love those comments so much.
This is great. You're helping women. You're inspiring so many to fight for what they feel is not only legal but right. Have you heard from Hunter Moore at all lately?
No, I think he's afraid to mention my name.
I think
Because he has not mentioned it since his site came down, since all of this ended and he went to prison. And people ask him about me, and he will not talk about. He will not mention my name at all. So I think he's afraid I'm going to sue him for, defamation or something. So it's kind of funny. But he, the sad thing is he hasn't changed his mindset. He's still a misogynist. He still has this hatred. He believes that tearing other people down somehow builds him up. And it's a shame that he hasn't grown up and learned that happiness comes from helping others. It's really a shame.
And are you still helping others today?
I am.
Yeah. Tell me what you're doing now.
Well, I've talked to over 500 victims of revenge porn or sextortion, related type things over the past 10 years. And then I'm also working on other causes such as helping animals. And I saw your earlier segment on animals, so
Very bright.
that's very good.
Yes, you're very good, and thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I can't tell people enough to please go and watch The Most Hated Man on the Internet. It's on Netflix. You will see that this woman truly is a hero. You know the saying, not all heroes wear capes? That's you. Thank you for helping all of these women.
Thank you.
You can find more about Charlotte on her website, charlottelaws.com. The Most Hated Man on the Internet is streaming now on Netflix. Thank you for joining us. Woodland Hills represent. I love it. There we go. We get some local love there on Netflix. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank
I need your number in case I ever need anything.
One of the